Okay, guys, this is hopefully everything's good now. Um, Wanted to come today and really try to make this really quick video. Got my daughter will be here pretty soon, so I want to try to get this out. It's kind of a lot. I'm going to try to condense it really quick and just kind of make my points here in just a few minutes and get off of here. So, the West 4B movement was a movement. I talked about it. I talked about it, man, like 3 weeks ago to a month, like when it kind of all first started. People have so many different things about this movement, when it started, who started it, and I mean, it's just really, it's kind of crazy right now. But at the end of the day, it's over. It's done for all intents and purposes. Now, it's okay. Let me go into just a little bit about what the movement is. I'm going to sum it up by saying that it is a movement that kind of started right after this whole thing about decentering men. Then almost immediately that kind of that started and became kind of the new thing. The actual 4B movement, which I have read about, and like I said in the video that I talked about it, I had actually already heard about it. It was something in Korea. I think I said some part of Asia because I wasn't really sure. But after doing more research and everything, it was something that was started in Korea. And the whole movement, and I don't know if over here we were kind of just trying to do our own thing, which I think that in a way. But I also wonder if it's something that we didn't really fully understand. So at the end of the day, from my understanding, this started in Korea about equal rights and working. That was really the intent of the beginning of the movement. Women getting fair wages and women, it had to do with women, especially when they had given birth to children, had taken that time off and everything, and it being hard for them to kind of get back into the workplace and getting back into the whole, um, going back to work as a new mom. And so that's kind of how it started. You guys got to forgive me. This nose ring turns all kind of crazy ways, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm not, but anyway, so then it began to turn. Some other women began to kind of turn it to being more of kind of almost like a feminist movement, and I'm still talking about in Korea. And from my understanding, a lot of the Korean women were joining the movement because it was something that was speaking up for women and getting women rights and helping women who are kind of in they're much more oppressed than we are here in America. So that's the crux of it. Over here in America, they came, took it, kind of began to make it into whatever they felt it was, or what they wanted for it to be. No men, no sex, no babies, no marriage. Basically, no dating, no sex, no marriage, no babies. That's the 4Bs. So at the end of the day, like I said, you can go to my other video where I was talking about it. I can't remember the name of my title, but I'll try to stitch it into here somewhere. Um, but at the end of the day, it's kind of done and over here. And one of the things that I brought up is the fact that there was no unity. I brought up the fact about kind of women's behavior towards each other, which is still a thing. I brought up the fact of how I was hearing from the get-go that they were bashing boy moms and, saying, boy moms couldn't really be apart. Boy moms are male identified. Boy moms are panderers to men. Boy moms are pick me's and all of this kind of stuff. And like I said that in my video. And that seemed to kind of be okay for a lot of women. Now that it is over and it's all this drama and crap behind it, now I'm starting to hear the complaints about them talking about, oh, well, they were trying to exclude boy moms and they're saying all this horrible stuff about boy moms. And it's just like, but they've been saying that from the beginning. Like, I could see the way these women were talking to and bashing other women who would get up and they were boy moms and saying things about, well, my son said and said such and such, oh, well, that's a boy mom. We don't listen to her. And so it's been a thing. It was the thing from the beginning. I caught hold to it. I saw it, but it's amazing how a lot of times people will let things go, let things slide, and they won't say things about certain things when they're a part of it, or because oh, well, they ain't talking about me, they talking about y'all or whatever, But that was my whole point when I kept saying, what is the end goal to this? Like, men have patriarchy. Patriarchy is solid. Like, patriarchy doesn't say, oh, men with daughters can't join. Oh, well, if you've been married, you can't join. And, the patriarchy is solid as I don't know what. It's been solid, and they don't exclude or discriminate between men. If you are for men's rights, men's, keeping men on top and male supremacy and all this, you in. That's pretty much it. Seem like this video is kind of lagging. I hope it will, be okay. But it wasn't that way with this women's movement. They were still segregating. They were still being mean girls. They were still being, trying to separate. Oh, well, you can't have this, you can't have that. And from the information that I have gathered, because it was a whole thing, I'm not always on TikTok because a lot of time too much social media gets to me. It bothers me, and I have to take breaks, very frequent breaks. So I wasn't on TikTok for, I don't know, a little bit, minute, week or two, something like that. So when I get back on there and I go to some of my regular sites and I'm listening to these women, some of the same women, like I've said before, that, go from panel to panel and they follow each other. And, they all literally seem to be like in some type of little group click thing. They really do. I'm not going to be able to go into that. But a lot of these women were down for it. They were following it, and they were headstrong in it. And now, when you go on there, a lot of these same women that I remember, I may be an older woman, but I ain't no way senile. I got my memory. I know what I know. I remember. Now, all you hear is these women, well, I was never really a part of it, but I'm just going to say this. Or, well, I wasn't really following all that, but I'm just going to say that so-and-so, so-and-so. And it's just like, yeah, y'all were. You absolutely were. I remember y'all getting on there, following this movement and being a part of it and, really being down on men, being down on women, and and like I said, being down on certain women, calling women pick-me's and panderers and male-identified and bashing boy moms and things like this. Um, and like I say, for those kind of reasons, for the reasons that most women just still are not together in a whole unified thing. You still got white women against black women, Hispanic women against black. I'm like, it's so many women of other races who still are not together. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I said, I was trying to compare the patriarchy just together. Like it just is what it is. And I'm not boosting it. I'm just making a point to where women are still too mean to each other. Women are still so jealous of one another. Like there's no togetherness with women. So I don't. I knew this thing was not going to make it. I knew it wasn't going to pan out because of all of these different isms that I see. Now, let me also say, I'm not happy that it's not together. I'm not happy that it fell apart. But I hope that women will take this for what it is and maybe, learn that it's not just about trying to get something together for women. You got to change the way you are. You can't say, oh, I'm for women's movement, I'm for women's growth, I'm for, women sticking together and all that, but you still slick slide jealous of other women. You still don't like women. You still will sleep with another woman's husband. You still will get in another woman's husband's DM and stuff. Like, and that's the stuff that I saw, you know? So at the end of the day, this was something that, like I said, these women got into, a lot of black women, mainly. And these women don't know. There's some woman who is claiming to be, I started the movement. There's a lot of mess behind that. And at the end of the day, um, these women, excuse me, y'all, these women are broken apart because many of them are upset that they don't know who, they're saying they don't know who the woman is. They're saying that they don't even know if she's in America. They say they think she was, but she may have fled somewhere to the Caribbean. Apparently, some woman has taken about, from what I hear, $55,000 in total from like gifts and donations and trying to put stuff together on the internet, and something about some cups and something about, her selling stuff and getting people's information, but nobody knows who she actually is. Then I think some people do know who she is. They're just doing this thing where it's like for clicks and views, where, they're calling her out and saying, oh, well, you need to show your face and you need to be, make yourself known. Where are you? Who are you? All this stuff. But then on the very same live, I'm hearing people call in and talking about, oh, well, you know who she is. You got text messages, you got receipts, you got all this. And, then it's crazy because I keep scrolling, going to other lives, and I actually see the person, I guess, that they're talking about doing another live simultaneously. And I'm just like, you know what? This is a bunch of crazy, messy stuff where these people are just literally doing stuff for clicks and views and likes. Some of the people that was on that other live, where the first woman was talking, I'm seeing them back over there on the West 4B movement live, saying, oh, well, they saying this and they over there doing that. And I'm just like, this is so freaking messy. This is so freaking high school. Now, I'm going to close because, like I said, I don't know how much time I got and I don't want to get interrupted. But I'm going to close with this. Now, all of this messiness, all of this, going back and forth and people seeming to scam black women for profit and all of that. Here's my thing. These very same women, and mind you, I'm not talking about them. I'm not saying nothing about their degrees and their education and all that, but that has been the leading thing that many of these women, oh, well, I have a doctorate in this, and, I have a master's in such and such, and I'm in college, and, I got this degree and that degree. And they would use that and use that as to why they're more educated than black men and why black men need to step up and all of that kind of stuff. And look, I'm not saying a lot of that ain't true. What I'm saying is all that wisdom, all that knowledge, all that advice on what other women need to do. And the using the fact that I got this degree and I got this education. Here's what I don't understand, if that is the case, because we know education really don't have anything to do with common sense. Education really don't have anything to do with street smarts. Education don't mean that you ain't gonna F up and make some mistakes and all that. Like throwing your degrees out and throwing the fact that, you understand this and I studied this in school doesn't mean that you ain't gonna make some mistakes. And this is what I see. So I want to know, why didn't these women check that stuff out? Why didn't they check out this woman? Why didn't they Google search this woman like they always like to get on there and tell black men, oh, well, you need to research. Um, you need to go on Google and find this out. You need to read a book. You need to whatever. Again, I'm not saying that they're not right, but it's the way that they would say it as in a mockery type thing. So now they're all on there looking a little silly now. You're educated. You got a master's degree. You got a doctorate in this. You got a bachelor's degree in this. Why didn't y'all go and Google this woman? And how did y'all let this woman scam y'all out of $55 million, $55,000 from what I'm understanding, or somewhere thereabout? And the excuse that I'm hearing is, well, we were just supporting black women. I just wanted to support black women, and yeah, y'all right. And it's just such a shame that she did that, and we don't really know who this is, and but we were just trying to support black women. We were just trying to empower black women. That's okay. So that's okay for you. But when, like I say, black men get up there talking about whatever it is they be talking about, y'all threw your education in their face, y'all threw your degrees in their face, y'all threw y'all college in their face. Why don't you study? Why don't you do this? Why don't you go on Google and understand this and find this out? And now all these educated women are now looking silly. And a lot of the men, of course, are throwing it right back in their face. They're saying the same stuff. Why didn't y'all research? How y'all give y'all money to somebody y'all don't even know? How did this happen? And before I close, like I say, I'm not saying I'm happy. I'm not saying I'm happy at all. If a woman want to not date, if a woman want to not have children, if a woman want to not get married, if a woman want to not date men, you can do that. You don't need a movement. I made a video before talking about us black people and our savior syndrome. We always feel like we got to join something. We always feel like somebody got to, be the leader of us for something. It don't have to be that way. If that's the life you want to live, just live it. You don't need a movement. You don't have to give your money to somebody. You don't have to have 4B cups and all of it. Like, you don't have to have the t-shirt. You could just do what you do, because this is throughout history with us. From Marcus Garvey to any other movement, to any other thing, to Malcolm X, to the Black Panther, to everything we try and get into and try to make people our saviors and make people our leaders, it falls apart every time. And here we are in 2024, we still doing the same stuff. And then we wonder why everybody else look at us and ridicule us. I'm not happy that the movement fell apart. I just knew that it would. At the end of the day, I wish women, period, and Black women would come together better. I really wish we would, but we don't. We really don't. And it's sad. And I don't know if we as Black people got to do things individually, just us on our own doing stuff, because as movements, as trying to do stuff together for community, it don't work. It doesn't work. And now, like I say, all these educated Black women who are throwing their degrees and throwing their education and all that out there are looking silly. Because why didn't you Google? Why didn't you research before you got into something and jumped into something? And now everybody's denouncing it. Well, I wasn't really a part of it. I was just following them. I didn't really do this, but I was just interested in it, but I was never really a part of it. I heard y'all. Little old bitty me, who nobody follows, because I ain't the cool one. I ain't never been the cool one. I'm not in the group. A lot of them was, even like I gave y'all stories about how a lot of these women would single me out when I'm saying stuff on some of these lives and block me and, try to single me out to say stuff about me. They didn't even know me, but it's because I wasn't a part of the group. And that's what I'm starting to see with a lot of these social media platforms. These people are in groups. These people ain't just getting up on these platforms and blowing up arbitrarily. No, I think a lot of this stuff, these people it's organized. I think people are setting them up. I think it's not just some random stuff. And then when I get on these lives and I say certain stuff, and, maybe I think a lot of it is that, I wasn't realizing that this is some setup stuff. This is some organized stuff. These people are saying a lot of the stuff they're saying for clicks and views. And I was bringing out a lot of truth and a lot of stuff to really, like, that made a lot of sense. But because you ain't in us, you're not a part of us, where you coming from, they want to block me. They want to shut me down. They want to, tag me and say little ugly mean stuff. Because who are you? You ain't in the group. Like, this live, we're trying to make this live go this way. But you keep saying stuff in the comments that's getting on our nerves and pissing us off. Because I'm not going to lie, I didn't realize that. I mean, I sensed it, but I didn't realize really what I seem to see is a lot of organization in a lot of these lives and a lot of this stuff that go on TikTok. People say a lot of triggering things on purpose because they're trying to get people to come and look and comment and, support this person and give people. A lot of these people are friends. Yeah. And some of this is stuff that Spirit told me that I didn't say. I have not said because it was going to sound wild and crazy. But now as I'm being on there more and I'm seeing how things go, A lot of these things are very organized. They're very organized. These people have friends that are coming on that get on there and say wild, outrageous, crazy stuff. They have organized trolls that are there to come and say stuff and mix up the live. And because here's one thing, and I'm going to get off. But here's one thing I always notice. Why is it that when these disruptors, these so-called people who come up with all these crazy opposing views and starting arguments and just saying all this crap, why they don't never get rid of them? Sometimes they do, but most times they don't. It's like they like them to come and stir up the drama and everything. And I'm finding out it is. It's organized. I think they give them people like a lot of gifts and stuff and however all that works. But a lot of this stuff is organized. All these women that we're talking about, we done with men, we finished with men and having all these arguments and stuff. I think some of the men were husbands, some of these men were boyfriends, some of these people were organized to come sign in and, get on this platform and say this and say that. Because here's another thing. I've stood behind the scenes in some of these lives because I purposely made another account, probably going to make another one. But I purposely sat back in some of these lives and I've watched some of these people. And I've seen they don't have the same energy on every platform. I've literally seen a woman who I know was a male basher and who I know would be giving men smoke. She was on a whole other, like some other platform that wasn't as popular and that didn't have all those other people how they be following each other. She was over there speaking so nice and calm and quiet, and she wasn't bashing men. She wasn't saying all of that crazy wild stuff. I mean, she was saying it a little, but she was so calm and so cool and collected and just, even telling the woman, because it was a young woman she was talking to, even telling her that she didn't necessarily have to give up on men, just be careful. And on some of these other ones, where they get real wild and crazy, she be going off. And I'm like, wow. So a lot of this stuff is very orchestrated. A lot of this stuff is very, done for show. Done for show. So that's really about it. Without going into it too much, I'm finding that there is a lot of push for a lot of lesbian stuff, LGBT community stuff. And again, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying from what I see, a lot of this stuff was organized by lesbian women and they had a whole different agenda, which is why they didn't want a lot of married women. They didn't want women with sons. And when you look at that as a whole, how easy is it for a lesbian woman not to date a man? How easy is it for a lesbian woman not to have children, even though a lot of them do? They're not going to get married. Like all of the four principal things were something that lesbian women do anyway. And like I say, I'm not saying nothing about it or bashing lesbians or whatever, but y'all out there hanging out in the background and y'all got ulterior motives that you are not making known. And you're saying that, all women and straight women can join and everything. But at the end of the day, like I said in my video, y'all actually really ridicule straight women for still liking men. Y'all actually ridicule straight women for dating men. And, I've already talked about that in the video. I really have. I've already talked about that in the video, and I'm going to try to put that video up here of some of the things that I was talking about. And I'm telling you, it's crazy. I'm not a popular one. I don't even have 1,000 followers yet. I wish that you all would, subscribe and come join me and everything, because I really say a lot of stuff that is out there and that's saying, that's so big and that's so profound because so-and-so said, I've already said a lot of that stuff already. But because I ain't the popular one, or I don't have a 50K platform, I don't get the views. But I'm saying the same stuff, and then when it all fall apart, they over there saying the same stuff that I've already said over here on my little bitty channel. And not only did I say it on my little bitty channel, I said this weeks and weeks ago. Y'all can go back and look at that video that I made probably close to a month ago. And now they want to start saying all this stuff. And they getting 50,000, 75,000 views and all this. And I'm like, I've said the same shit. I've said the same shit. And I've said it from the beginning, why it was going to fall apart. I'm telling y'all, it's crazy. We are so cliquey. We black people are so cliquey. We always want to follow trends. We always want to follow the big people. We always want to, oh, well, it ain't nothing said until this person say it. I don't care how many little people say it. If they don't say it, then that ain't nothing. We got to get out of that. Truth is truth. It shouldn't matter who it come from. It really shouldn't matter who it come from. Yeah, I would love my platform to be bigger. I'm asking y'all seriously. I'm asking you all, subscribe to my channel, join my channel. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have the latest equipment. I don't have all this big technical stuff like all some of these other people do. I think right now my video is probably lagging right now, but the message is still a good message. So you all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all notifications so that you'll know when I upload new videos. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, leave me a comment and please let me know what you think about all this. Leave me a comment. Until the next video. See you next time.